looking at the view, and I'm thinking, like, why am I beefing with Cam? And the only reason why is because I just never got to talk to him. He publicly said he wasn't going to talk to me, but almost every OG from Harlem and everyone I respect is like, yo, cut this shit, it's embarrassing. So, Daniel spoke to Cam and we could resolve this. I just want to talk to him and it's over. And if you need to, because we can't publicly have us as black people beefing with each other. That's just what they want. They use us to tear each other down. They don't do it. We do it to ourselves, but they usually pay us to do it. And I'm not going to get caught up in that. So I'd prefer to squash this. I want to apologize to Harlem because I know this was embarrassing for Harlem. And I'm man enough, but the thing is, in Harlem, we deal with things different. It also comes with violence. And I can't be violent, and I won't be violent.
The moment Dame Dash stared into the camera and declared, "My violence is lawsuits," the internet froze. This wasn't just Harlem gossip, this was war. But not the kind Harlem was used to. No fists, no streets, papers, subpoenas, and when he hit Camron with a $300 million lawsuit, it became clear. Harlem wasn't watching a freestyle beef. Harlem was watching a courtroom battle. Yet in the same breath, Dame apologized to Harlem, admitting he embarrassed them, promising peace, and even inviting 50 Cent to sit down like men. So which Dame are we seeing, the peacemaker or the warrior with new weapons? This didn't start yesterday. The tension spiraled the moment Camron interviewed Dame's son. Whether Cam planned it or not, the optics were brutal. Family should have been off limits. But once kids got dragged into the conversation, lines blurred. Dame Dash clapped back, mentioning Cam's mother, a line you don't cross in Harlem without consequences. Subliminals turned into all-out war, and suddenly the city was split between two of its most respected sons. Then came the freestyle. A couple of slick lines from Cam were all it took. Younger fans laughed, Harlem elders frowned, and Dame? He sat by the water, admitting nearly every OG told him, "Yo, cut this out. It's embarrassing." Imagine, the man who built Rockefeller with Jay-Z now being told Harlem itself was tired of him. Dame swallowed it. He apologized. He said violence wasn't his weapon anymore. His only weapon left? Lawsuits, but don't get it twisted. Dame made it clear he's still fighting, just differently. A $300 million claim isn't petty. It's not symbolic. It's a bullet in the boardroom. If I can't hit you in the streets, I'll hit your pockets, he told Harlem. And then he threw in a curveball, inviting 50 Cent and Cam to sit down together. He even hinted at turning all this into a project. A movie, a show. Harlem Unity, packaged and sold to the world. It sounded ambitious, even noble. But Cam wasn't fooled. It's up, he said flat out. Reconciliation was off the table. That's why this feels like a knife's edge. On one side is Dame, apologizing, talking peace, saying he's too old for street energy. On the other,
take this off the street. The street right now is the internet, and this shit is corny. So I don't want to fight with y'all no more. Now, I heart, that's different. And Revolt, Batavio, same thing. You stopped replying to me 2 days before I went to the Breakfast Club, but I don't work for you. I am the chairman. When I'm on Revolt with my content, I'm the chairman because I don't talk to your staff. I talk to mine, which I have. I'm the chairman of America New when it's on Revolt. So to me, if the Breakfast, I won't get into it, but we can have a sit down too because I'm not going to stop legally.
On the other, the same Dame who can't let anything slide, who sues like others throw punches, who refuses to lose pride. Across the table, Camron, Harlem authenticity in every bar, every dish sharpened to cut deep. Add 50 Cent, who thrives on chaos, and you don't have a sit down. You have gasoline waiting for a spark. Dame swears he doesn't want violence. He says he doesn't want Harlem kids seeing blood. But Harlem doesn't always talk it out. Harlem fights. Dame knows it. So when he says lawsuits are his only violence, you hear both growth and frustration. He's protecting his people from jail, but also reminding everyone he knows how this game works. Yet the contradictions are impossible to ignore. He says peace, but admits he'll clap back every single time. He says no violence, but vows endless counters in court. Harlem is split. Some call it strategy. Others call it weakness, and really, this isn't just about Cam. It isn't even about 50. It's about Dame Dash's legacy. A man who once symbolized independence in hip-hop now fighting to prove he's still relevant, still respected, still feared. When he says my violence is lawsuits, the question isn't what he means. The question is, will Harlem respect it or dismiss it as soft? Families dragged, Harlem elders shaking their heads, fans split between unity and pride, and at the center, Dame Dash torn between apology and aggression. If Cam swears reconciliation is impossible, and 50 keeps clowning from the sidelines, then what exactly is Dame's final warning? A call for peace, or the calm before Harlem's ugliest storm? But Camron wasn't buying it. Just days before Dame's so-called final warning, Cam went live and told fans that beef was permanent. It's up, he said. No reconciliation, no sit down, no forgiveness. To him, once family is dragged into the dirt, the lines are crossed forever. This wasn't a rap back and forth anymore. This was about loyalty, respect, and Harlem's code. And everyone who knows Camron knows when he feels disrespected, he doesn't turn back. He doesn't fold. He digs in deeper. Meanwhile, 50 Cent played the role only he could, sitting in the shadows, cracking jokes, throwing memes online, feeding off the chaos. For 50, this wasn't beef, this was content. A Harlem feud spilling across podcasts and interviews? That's promotion for whatever move he makes next. A new paid-in-full chapter tied to real-life drama? Even better. While Dame extended invitations for peace talks, 50 treated it like a show, letting the fire burn because every spark kept his brand hotter. And Dame didn't help himself. He told both Cam and 50 they were welcome to a sit-down, but then added that infamous jab. Charlemagne, you're not invited. That line shook the internet. It was Dame's way of saying he didn't want the media circus in the middle. He only wanted Harlem men to face each other directly. No outside voices twisting the story. But instead of calming things down, it poured more fuel on an already burning fire. To the public, it sounded like Dame was cherry-picking enemies, deciding who was real enough to be in the room. That's what makes the saga so gripping. On one side, you have lawsuits worth $300 million. On the other, Harlem's pride, rap's ego, and street credibility being tested in real time. And in the middle, Dame Dash, a man who swears he's past violence but admits he can't let a single insult slide. He says it's strategy, but to Harlem, it looks like obsession. To his critics, it looks like a man who can't stand silence, who needs the last word every single time. Clips of his dockside confession went viral, sparking endless debates. Some fans praised his apology to Harlem, saying it showed growth. Others mocked him, saying he lost his edge and was hiding behind paperwork. Harlem elders weren't quiet either. They reminded everyone that this feud wasn't just personal, it was cultural. Harlem's name, Harlem's image, Harlem's pride, all of it was being dragged through the mud for the world to laugh at. And hanging over all of it was paid in full. That project, whether Dame wanted it or not, hovered like a ghost. Cam had his pride, 50 had his machine, and Dame had his lawsuit. Fans kept asking, could these three giants actually put egos aside to make it happen? Or would the cameras stop rolling and the war start again the moment the lights shut off? Everyone knew the answer. None of these men bow. Dame doesn't take orders. Cam doesn't take disrespect. And 50 doesn't let anyone else control his narrative. That's not a partnership, that's a powder keg waiting to explode. And then the circle widened. Joe Budden's name got pulled into the conversation. Revolt TV was suddenly dragged into interviews. Even Jim Jones started tossing little shots from the sidelines. What started as Harlem beef turned into a hip-hop saga stretching across platforms, boardrooms, and podcasts. And through it all, Dame sat like a man daring anyone to challenge him. I don't have bosses. I press the button. My violence is lawsuits. Those words weren't just a statement, they were a dare. A declaration that even if Harlem laughed at him, he would fight differently. But fight all the same. But the contradictions couldn't be ignored. Dame claimed he wanted peace. He said Harlem's kids deserve to see unity, not violence. He said he didn't want his friends behind bars. Yet, at the same time, he admitted he claps back every single time. To him, silence is weakness. Letting someone disrespect you in public without a response? That's the death of your name. So yes, he wasn't throwing fists anymore, but he was still swinging, only now with lawsuits, interviews, and public jabs. Harlem began asking, is that really growth? Or just war in another form? Meanwhile, Cam stood firm. He doubled down, it's up, no forgiveness. No truce, no peace. For Cam, once family was dragged in, the game was over. Harlem respected that stance. Pride has always been the backbone of the borough, and if pride meant permanent war, then so be it. Harlem doesn't bend easily. At the same time, 50 Cent thrived in the chaos. He didn't side with Cam. He didn't side with Dame. He played the wild card, cracking jokes, feeding content, letting the feud fuel his empire. For him, the longer it lasted, the more powerful he looked still. Dame kept pitching his dream of flipping the drama into legacy. A film, a documentary, maybe even a paid-in-full sequel. He painted a picture of Harlem rewriting the story, turning humiliation into history. But fans weren't convinced. Because even if they sat at one table, who would lead? Dame wanted recognition as a mastermind. Cam wanted respect as Harlem's voice. 50 wanted dominance as the ultimate hustler. 3 egos, 1 room. That's not legacy. That's a ticking time bomb. And commentators didn't miss it. Podcasts, blogs, YouTube channels, everyone asked the same thing. Who would actually run the room? Because make no mistake, all of this was about ego. The lawsuit, the apologies, the disses, the interviews, they were just symptoms. The disease was power. Who controls Harlem's narrative? Who defines its pride? Who carries its crown? As the feud dragged on, Harlem elders grew louder. They begged for proof. Proof that unity mattered more than pettiness. Proof that family wouldn't be dragged again. Proof that Harlem's legacy meant more than viral clips. But proof never came. Cam stood firm, the door was closed. Dame kept repeating his mantra. 50 kept laughing from the sidelines. And Harlem stayed divided, embarrassed, and restless. So here we are. Dame Dash calls this his final warning. Camron says it's permanent beef. 50 Cent fuels the fire with silence and smirks. Joe Budden and Jim Jones throw shots. Revolt TV gets pulled into the storm. Harlem is watching. Harlem is shaking its head. Harlem is waiting. And through it all, Dame keeps repeating, my violence is lawsuits. He says it like scripture. He says it like a man reinventing the rules. But the question won't go away, will Harlem ever accept lawsuits as real respect? Or will paperwork always look like weakness? Because in the end, this isn't about money. It's about legacy. Dame Dash fighting to prove his name still carries weight. Camron defending Harlem's pride as if it were sacred. 50 Cent waiting in the background, cashing in on every headline. Every move is public. Every insult goes viral. Every apology gets dissected, and the truth is simple. There's no easy ending. Either pride gets swallowed and unity is built, or this war drags on. Until somebody loses everything. So when Dame Dash calls this his final warning, the question is clear. Does he really mean it? Or is Harlem bracing for another chapter in its ugliest, most public war? A war no lawsuit can settle? A war no lawsuit can settle?